Hello everyone, welcome back to Bombe. We're teaching the computer how to play Minesweeper here. And at the end of the last episode I did, well in between episodes I guess, I did just real quick ask the computer, real quick, it took a while, to just apply my current set of algorithms to every level that we have access to see how many it could solve. So triangles are still in pretty rough shape. It didn't make a ton of progress on most things, to be honest, but you know, we got a few. And somewhere, I guess there were some that were just like, this row was all 200s or something, and now it solved a few hundred of them. Somewhere in the middle of that, I'm not clear where, it gave me this, a slider to control the maximum number of regions, which sounds nice, right? We had these levels like, the default I think is infinity or something. We had levels like this where it goes completely nuts, right? And I thought, aha, let's set the maximum number of regions to like 25 and see what happens. Would you like to guess what happens? It just makes them all anyway. I don't know what this does. What the fuck is this? So that's cool. I don't know how I'm supposed to use this. But I did think about how you are supposed to approach levels where it generates way too many regions. Like we had some in the triangles, right? Yeah, like here it just goes crazy. One thing we could do is just play it very slow. I wish there was a like next deduction button rather than having to play it at like a speed and then see what happens. One of like having to catch it when it gets to an interesting point rather than having to go forward or go back. See, like already this, looks pretty complicated, right? I don't know when I'm supposed to intervene here. Because it looks like it never marks or clears a single mine on this puzzle, right? We could back up and do a simpler one probably, but like this one, I don't know, it does a lot of things. How many of these are built in? None, I guess, in a sense. But then it says, oh, okay, there's... Wait, why 3? Why not 4? It's a 4 next to 0 mines. Shouldn't there be 3? So shouldn't there be 4, I mean? There's no hidden or trashed regions. Why wouldn't it put 4 here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess this... Oh, is that what this 3 is touching? It is, I see. Gosh, everything reaches so far. Got it, okay. Puts in 4s and 6s, and then, like... I guess it puts in the 1s, presumably, right? That's one of them. Jeez, okay. And that's the other. And then it's time for our deductions to start working. And it makes this hidden deduction saying, oh, you know, where there was a 3, there's now 3 or fewer. And I imagine it does some more stuff. Okay, there's... Yeah. It does all that. And it's going to do that again for the other one. And then it did this. So... 3 or fewer... I think we sort of have too many rules like this that just create regions in case they'll be helpful for something. without being able to mark or clear any mines. Like, this is true. Obviously, it wouldn't let me write it in the rule inspector if it were false. Unless there were a bug, which who knows, there might be, but this one's true anyway. We just know that a 4... that connects with a 1 or more. Where the heck did this 1 or more come from? Oh, that's exciting. So this 4 overlapped with any region, say this 3. And it said, so what's 4 here? So X is 3. Right? Doesn't look like 3. Well, I guess. So the point is, there's this 4, and it overlaps with some other region, in this case the 3, in a way that there are exactly 3 tiles that don't overlap, these 3. And it says, well, we can only put at most 3 in there because there's only 3 tiles. Therefore, the remainder, which is whatever it was overlapping with, should be marked 1 or more. That seems like a little bit wasteful, right? This already was marked as 3. Also marking it as 1 or more is like, who cares, right? How bad does this one get if I let it go till forever? I forget. Bad. But like it's like impossible to debug now, right? I don't want a speed slider. I want a time slider. Or like a deduction count slider. Take me back to the way things looked after 5 deductions, right? Don't make me rewind and then step slowly through painstakingly trying to recreate the right state. Oh, this unlocks in 161. That's interesting. So, I don't think we have a rule right now. Let's see. Can I like do enough here? It doesn't super help, but this is enough that like I can find this 3 or more and the 1 or more that perfectly overlaps with it. And sort of say, oh, and wait, get that out of there. Oh, good, there is a button to get that out of there. No, wait, that was the wrong one. Well, whatever. I kind of do care, actually. The 1 or more and the 3 or more. So if one is contained completely within the other, then like just delete the smaller rule, right? Or at least hide it, because maybe we have deductions that deal with 1 or mores, right? Sure. But we should be more specific get out some x's and say if there's like an x here and an x plus 2 here. I mean, we've already got, I think, x plus 1. How is it possible? Oh, right. X or more. Yeah, so we don't already have this rule. This rule we do have. We were already trashing them. So I think we want the same thing, basically, but for x plus 2, which simplifies a little. I don't know. It's still pretty unapproachable. How did this 4 and this 6 look? There's space for only 3. Well, no. They have an overlap of 7, so all 7 could go in there. At most, 3 of them can go outside of this 6, so we could say at least 3 of them go in this overlap somewhere, but we already know at least 4 are in there. So that's not very interesting. I kind of want to just take the simplest puzzle that we currently fail on and just understand what's going on. Boy, we did a lot here, huh? It's been forever since we looked at this. I don't remember anything about it. I remember there's some hidden deductions about 1s over there. I mean, it seems like making this square not a mine would be difficult, right? So then both of these 2s would be mines. Well, yeah. So, if this were not a mine, then this would be, and this 3 would have 1 in those 2 spaces. And also, at most, 1 here. Therefore, there'd be 1 here and none in here. But if this weren't a mine, no, sorry, if it were a mine, okay, what's my hint exactly? Those 2 squares. Sure. So could this be a mine? I guess it would be difficult, right? Because then neither of these would be mines. We'd have this full up with mines. Well, that seems possible. If one of these is a mine, these aren't, so these 3 all are, which means these are, which means this isn't. There's none here. Ah. you would run into a problem finding a third mine for this 3. So what is the like general cause for this? What propagates the information around? I'm not sure. Like, I presume I have, yeah, I have an at least 2 in this area. That's not helpful. I mean, there's only 4 areas here. So I can just by fiat declare that all of the conditions met here are now a rule. And that'll solve this level. But why? Why is it so? What is the deeper reason behind it? It's not really about this 3, right? It's sort of about the 2 or more that is conceptually in these 3 squares. Because guessing this to be a non-mine, or to be a mine, the conflict it ends up running into is over here. So, like, do I have a... I don't really have a 2 or more over here. Oh, I do. I threw it away. Reasonable, since it's enclosed in a 3 or more, I guess. But the point of having some of these was that I could reason based on them, right? I don't know. I think I end up needing the whole 3 thing anyway, right? Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. So basically, in this setup, we can say this area where just the 1s are, which is here, can't be mines. And we can generalize probably quite a bit, but like not 100%. Something's gonna matter. Okay, I don't know, put that in. Obviously, it's not going to solve any more levels, I assume. This is a weird place to start the puzzle, right? It really starts like this? Okay. So just fill in all this. When do we start inferring? We are inferring. Do we make any progress at all? Yeah, we just put in a bunch of questionable regions. So if I look at it before some of that has happened, which is here. Yeah, I had time to put that silly region in, but that's it. What's interesting? What are some cool overlaps? I mean, this 3 and this 2 overlap, I guess. I end up with at least one in this area. And also at least one in this area, which I'm sure it eventually discovers. It's all hidden, but like it looks like it's there. I mean, at this point, most of the like simple overlap rules are already written, right? We need rules that like relate a region back to itself somehow. Like propagating it through some other region to get back into, I don't know what I'm saying exactly. This 2 looks important somehow, and so does this 3. And they're kind of the only things that look important. But there's like this 1 here that interacts with both of them, right? Well, not exactly. Down here it's interacting with this. Maybe there's something in this mess where this 1 either touches these 2s like this square, right? If this were not a mine, there'd be mines here, which is 2, and a mine here. And that would completely fill in the rest of this 2. No. Yeah, because no mine here puts a mine here and a mine here, and then these would all be empty. So is there something similar happening if there's no mine here in this area? Instead of here, if we look at this space? If there's no mine here, then this 3 is completely filled in otherwise. And this is a mine. But that doesn't tell me so much, does it? Okay, what's the hint? There's not that many oh no, that's the help button. There's not that many regions around. What am I supposed to look at? Narrow it down to these 2, huh? Yeah, of course we're ignoring these hints. That's obvious. Sure, so could this be a non-mine? Let's ask. Then these would both be mines, which would finish this 2. And then there'd be no room for this 2. So there'd be no mine here and also no mine here. Still feels like very special case. I haven't figured out how to... Fine. I think this probably could never be size 1, because I'm... but whatever. I'll just mark it size 2. Boy, these overlaps are all pretty important, huh? But some of them aren't. Did this rule not apply? Should have marked bombs there, but oh, it's paused. Still not done. Oh no, it's making a lot of other inferences. Yeah, but of course we only made progress on one of them because it was such a specific solution. I don't like it. So there's the 0 or 2. I made this, right? Yeah. Those don't appear in this column normally. Okay, I mean, I'll take another hint. I don't understand yet really what I'm looking at. It is really nice that hint removes the completely extraneous rules. Maybe I'm just supposed to be pressing hint on some of those huge levels that are a problem. So this 2, apparently, you can say something about. I assume I've inferred that there's at least one here. Yeah, that's this rule. Or region. I mean, another thing to note is it's left in so many regions that I can't include them all in a single deduction. I have to either tell it, hey, some of those ones you left me were useless, or find a way to combine multiples of them to synthesize them into something more compact. This 0 or 2 Doesn't seem directly related to this 2, but like, what if I looked at it related to this 2? Suppose this were a 0. That would be pretty impactful, would it not? Not really. The mines for this 2 would go here. The mine for this 1 would go here. So they'd be solved. And then in this region we could do that. Put the 2 mines in here, no problem. Huh. Could this be a non-mine? That looks impactful, right? It would make mines here and here. And here. Completely filling out the 0 or 2. And this 1. And then there'd be no place to put the second mine for this 2? You can only put 1 mine here? Right? But I did use all 5 regions for that deduction. Right? There's no... I can't just plug all that in and say, okay, region done, or puzzle done. I have to find a way to make that a 2-step process. Or find a similar approach, since the hint isn't telling me to look here exactly. Did I already look at making this a mine? That seems also impactful. I think I did. It puts no mines in this area, so the 2 has to finish up here. The 0 or 2 has become another 2. With no mine here. But the second mine here. That looks like a problem as well. Like, this can't be a mine. I don't think. But it ripples through too many places, doesn't it? Or maybe not. I need this 2 for sure. I need this 0, 2. And I think I need just this. And I say this, the place where the 1 touches the 0, 2, and that's it, is not a mine. Yeah, see, that's incorrect. I think I need all of them. Well, okay. Let's maybe, for the moment, hide this. And think about whether I can reprove something in this area by starting from here. to prove a smaller constraint on that area, right? Now, if this were a mine, you'd have some ripples here, because these would both be mines, and ripples here, because now this and this are mines. There's nothing here. You end up proving that this overlap of where the 2 plus is by itself are both mines, right? No. Sorry. You prove that only if this is a mine. But that's possible. It could be a mine. It's only impossible because of this 2 that we hid. If we put it back, it's obvious that we can't have this be a mine and also both of these be a mine. So maybe... Okay. Well, no. If we get rid of this 2 region again, we started by assuming this is a mine and concluding that the rest of this is also mines. If we assume this isn't a mine, how far do we get? Can we write like a 0 or 2 style thing on this? What if this weren't a mine? Well, nobody knows. It wouldn't fucking matter, right? It wouldn't do anything. There'd be at least one here. Well, there'd be exactly one here. And then exactly one here. But that doesn't tell us anything. I mean, okay, I guess the thing it seems to be saying we can prove something about is the 2, so maybe that's not what we should hide. So we get rid of that 2, and now I say, what if this 1 weren't a mine? No, were a mine. Then these wouldn't be... These would be, this 0 or 2 would be empty. Or would be, well, it would be full with a mine here and here. And then I'd be proving like no mines in this area. If it weren't a mine, I don't think I can make any nearly as interesting conclusions, right? Well, I mean, okay, I guess if I start up here by assuming this isn't a mine, I get an even stronger version of what I had, right? A bigger assumption. Because that makes this a mine and also does some other stuff. If this is not a mine, then these both are. And this 1... I mean, I guess that's fine. This isn't a mine, these are. And likewise, if I assume this isn't a mine, these both are. But without this 2 to connect, the 2 plus to connect things up, I don't get anywhere. Wait a minute. Bring back this 2 plus? No, not that one. There was one in this neighborhood that the machine said I might enjoy. I thought that it might overlap with the 0 or 2 twice, but of course it doesn't. I don't know. I should really be looking at these simpler, at the smaller puzzles. Actually, have I even looked at this? No, it just has more complicated rule types that we haven't conquered yet. So I could solve some of these probably. But really, like, this is what interests me. Is these complicated arrangements of simple clue types. Like, this one seems important again. It's like a 1 that covers a region of exactly size 2 is like a disjunction, right? It says either one thing is true or another is true, and you can kind of do a case-by-case analysis of it. Right? So, like, if this were the only one that were true, this would be empty. These would both be mines. This would also be a non-mine. Wait, no, this would be impossible? If this were a mine, this would be empty. These would both be mines. And there'd be too many in this region, right? So I don't need this rule. And I don't need that rule. I just need these 3, I think. To say... that this place where the 1 and the -1 intersect can't have a mine? Correct. Now, how do we generalize? I can't generalize this to 1 or more, because then it would be legal to put a second mine here. Can I generalize it to 1 or fewer? Sure, I think so. So actually, get this out of here. Take me back into the hidden layer to find the 1 or fewer that's in the neighborhood. Oh, I guess actually, let's hide this and show this while we're at it. Go back to rule constructor. So what's happening here, I guess, is we have like a partial overlap of at most 1s. Where again, if I put the overlap of the 2 1s, which is here, can't have a mine. Yes, this is still all true. Regardless of its size. Or I think the size of any of the regions? Not that one. Oh yeah, that needs to be size like 1 or fewer. This solves the puzzle and does not seem unreasonable. It still seems like a special case of something more general. Like... Like what exactly? I don't want to add the rule until I've figured out... Until I've given up on finding something better. Like, does this region have to be specifically 2 or more? Or do we really just need, like, a 1 or more in between these spaces, right? Is there one of those in the trash? There's not. There's not even one of them marked. But I think if we did something like... I mean, I think the thing is, if I added a 1 or more region, I would say, I would throw it in the trash. There's a rule somewhere that says if there's a 1 or more that's already implied by the 2 or more that it's part of, like, just throw away the 1 or more. But right now, the 1 or more seems like the kind of important reason why these ones interact together is because they're communicating via this edge as well as this intersection. Okay, I'll just add this, I guess. A mine here seems very problematic, right? It rules out mines in both of these spaces. Which is obviously impossible because of the 4. So, how do I... If I go grab the 1 or fewer that's there and banish the 1, I'm left with a similar situation where I have these 2 1 or fewer regions interacting with another region somehow. And, like, I guess the problem is... What I want to do is say, because of this 4, there's at least 1 in this region. Like, between these 2. Just like I wanted to in the last puzzle. Say there was at least 1 in, like, a part of the 2+. But I don't have that capability yet. And also, if I did it, I would be... Oh, what's the word I'm thinking of? Not quite germinating, but... I would be begetting a lot of potentially useless regions, the same way I was complaining about at the beginning of the episode. then in this situation, it would turn out to be useful. I mean, I could certainly write, here, let's hide this and this. These are the three rules that matter here. And I could just write the rule that uses all three of them. But I kind of want to say, like, what if instead I did the unthinkable? And I said, whenever a 4... Like, I already have the rule that when a 4 touches exactly one other region, and there's 3 that don't overlap, there's at least one where they do overlap. Or I guess in this case, at most. Sorry, there's at least 3 here, therefore... Well, at most 3 here, because there's only 3 spaces. And at least 4 in the whole region, therefore at least 1 here. So I can do the same thing here for when a 4 intersects with 2 other regions. I can say when there's an overlap of 3 there, then I don't think I care about any of these sizes. Do I? That size maybe matters. Then I want to say there is at least 1 in the region where these 2 meet. Hang on. The region where at least one of them overlaps with the 4, which is like here. One of them overlaps with the 4. No, that's where it overlaps with nothing. One overlaps with the 4 here, one overlaps with the 4 here, and they all overlap with the 4 here. Oh, actually this is good enough? Oh, because I said this is size 0. Can I, if I... Yes. So that should make a 1 or at least 1 here, which I think I already have other rules to solve. Yeah. That doesn't help here, does it? No, of course not. Oh, but some of these are taken care of now. Only 1 left. And not many rules either. That's nice. Oh, but I wanted actually this... This can be generalized, right? To make this x and this x plus 1. Well, x plus 1 plus, I think. So let's edit this rule using x's. So there's an x here, and yeah, of course it's illogical, and an x plus 1 or more there. Yes, that it says is also correct, and solves this one. Nice. Aha! That was a kind of rule that we were missing in general. Looking at it now in this diagram, I already have sort of forgotten what it means. But I think this rule would have also solved the earlier one we had, where there were those 2s, and I wanted to say, oh, there's at least 1 in a subset of 2 of the 2's, right? So, like, the rule we added right before this is probably not necessary, right? This one. Like, I have this x plus 1 plus matching with 1 minus 1 minus. But the region sizes are weird here. Oh, well, this is a 1 minus. This says x. If I edited this to be x minus, is that still valid? It is. Okay, so that's slightly more general and handles this, I think. So let's remove that rule. Doesn't seem to solve that puzzle, though. Anything? Hey, got one. Got 2. Okay, that's all done. So several of these should be cleaned up now. Oh, I love it. I'm adding new regions and then they're like getting cleaned up actually. They're doing something useful. So some of them still left. This seems so simple. How could it be hard? Right? This one's a mess. This one's a mess. This one's awful. This one maybe you could work with if you had some time. This is awful. But this, what's the problem here? Can't you just figure it out, dude? Well, this can't be a 4 because you couldn't put 1 here and here because of this 1, right? So, okay. Let's see. Hide this 2. And also hide this 1. But go and get me the 1 or fewer in this region. Because that's really the problem. And I think we can do this with x's somehow. Oh, but I want to say the sum of this area is x. Is 4. I don't have a way to do that yet. I say yet. Maybe I never will. But you see what I mean? I can't say if there's a region of size 4 marked as either 1 or 4 that overlaps with 2 or more of at most 1s, which is what I want here. Well, maybe I can say 2 or more here and 2 or fewer here, but that still doesn't help me with the, like, splitting this, using x equals 4, which is what I wanted to do. Because, like, if this said 1 or 7, and there were 3 more marked here, the same thing would apply. But I don't have a way to write that down yet. I guess I can say... Maybe if I had an X and a Y, I could do something here. But... In fact, I don't care if this extends out even further. But if the area of their overlap... No. I don't care about this size either. What I care about is this. If it is 2 or less, then there's no room for the 3 mines outside of this, right? So actually, I kind of can do this with just one number, right? Choose X as 2. Say, if I have X minus here, and a... Is there a 1 out of X I can write somewhere? I can't. Oh, maybe I can. No? Okay, let's leave that alone for now then. In that case, the region that is currently marked as, as 1, 4 must actually be a 1 region. So that solved a few, actually, even with just being special case to 4s. Can we crank this square out before we move on? It would be nice. But it's been over an hour. Oh, let's just take a break. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.